Agreed. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Kim is here.
Jim. I'm going by Jim now.
Jim.
As Jim, one of the sperms that didn't make it. Why is that funny?
A sperm
You'll never know.
Jim. Nope.
But we know.
But we won't remember.
No.
As we talk about Look Who's Talking.
Look Who's Talking,
from
1989.
An Amy Heckerling film. We've done so many Amy Heckerlings. We did Clueless, Wayne's World, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
All her hits.
All her big
ones.
hits.
And this one is a particularly...
Let's just start off with that.
Let's just do it because there was a whole nother level.
If you haven't watched like us, if you haven't watched Look Who's Talking in 20, 30 years, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And then you find out from your research assistant, Jim,
Jim told us
that this story is got another level, which is that the Albert character
another level
is
Harold Ramis.
So yeah,
who got Amy Heckerling pregnant.
Yes, he did. Well, they were both married to other people.
Yeah.
And both already had other kids.
Well, she didn't have any other kids.
Oh, no, she didn't have another one, but he had one older daughter.
He had...
or maybe he just only had one daughter, but he might have had some sons.
Right, I think
as
he
well.
had a couple sons.
And so there are parts of this that are seemingly very similar to what happened in real life. And then there are parts of this where she has made her character more sympathetic.
Yeah.
By making her single.
But also naming her character after her daughter.
Yes.
Putting her daughter in the movie and naming another character that you never ever meet after her husband.
Yes.
Ex-husband. At this point.
It gets, so we know.
There are levels.
We only know what we know from excerpts from Harold Ramis's older daughter's biography or book or whatever, where she talks about how she became aware that she had a half sister from Amy Heckerling.
Right.
But only because
he took her to the hospital.
First he took her to the hospital
this baby when she was 7.
Yep.
Didn't explain it to
just
her.
No, a friend. A friend had a baby.
So we're going to the hospital.
Then a year later, she reads in her stepmother's diary because he wouldn't leave his wife for Amy Heckerling.
Nope.
But he left his wife for the next lady.
Right. Well, they had
the interior designer, quote unquote.
An open relationship. So what did we say? Harold Ramis's wife or the older daughter's mother is Beth.
Right.
And
who's aware he's having affairs.
Right.
And it's
she's
not
like
that it's okay, but she's like so woo-woo that
that it's like fine.
She's just letting
they
it
have
go.
this open relationship. And then also the interior decorator is the second
Erica, the real
and
stepmom.
Mollie is Amy Heckerling.
Yes.
Who then went on to name this love child Mollie.
Yeah.
Who was in this movie.
And like if you're gonna get all that similar, why'd you even have it be a boy baby? Why was it not?
I know, why not just drive the point home?
Right. Just really
slam
it home.
Right? And then write this whole other like prologue where like, oh, they stayed together. Or no, they don't stay together, but never mind.
So yeah, we may have to take a couple detours along the way where we dissect Columbo style.
Yes, I have my trench coat on. I've lit a cigar. One more thing.
We got
I took out an eye.
We got the ketchup and saltines ready.
We got the guts of bubbling.
Well, we did just eat some frozen pizza, so we might have the guts of bubbling in about 20 minutes.
I hope not like last time.
Not like Poo Poo John's.
Poo Poo John's. I did not order Poo Poo John's for us.
Not a sponsor. So yeah, we may have to take some sidetracking just to kind of figure out. And none of this is. I mean that story is true, but none of what you're about to hear about are speculations about what
the
parts
rest
of this
is
are
speculation.
True. Yes, that's all just for funsies.
Yeah, because we're having a great
our own
time.
Entertainment.
We're here to speak ill of the dead. Is
yes,
what we're doing.
Poor Harold Ramis, R.I.P.
And Kirstie Alley, she did too.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And who else? You said Ava
Olympia
Vigoda, which of course
Dukakis. Olympia Dukakis is dead. George Segal is dead. Bruce Willis is ailing.
Based on your history, he probably will be.
Wait, didn't I look up George Segal and he's not dead?
Oh, that's right. Or no, was it Abe Vigoda that's not dead?
No, Smoking Man is not dead.
Oh,
that's right.
And there are 2 people from X-Files in this movie.
Yeah. And this is the third time for what's his name?
Don something Davis.
Yes, the guy
Scully's
who plays
dad.
Yes.
The OB. and
he's what's his name's dad in Twin Peaks.
That's right.
The military dad.
Right. Bobby's
dad.
Bobby. Right. Bobby, you hurting me.
So let's get into this cast. Kirstie Alley as Mollie, which is the name of the real life love child.
Love child. John Travolta as James Ubriaco.
Olympia Dukakis as Rosie.
George Segal as Albert.
Abe Vigoda as Grandpa.
Bruce Willis as the voice of Mikey.
And 4 kids you've never heard of listed under the role
various
of Mikey.
Mikeys.
And that's all I have. Oh, and what's her name?
Oh, Twink Caplan.
Twink Caplan as
Rona.
Rona.
And so now we have ovulation.
I feel like this is my first sex education lesson was this movie.
This was always my favorite part. And this is the part that's like most... Is that my kid?
Yeah.
I told
having
him
fun.
specifically. The hollering, sir.
Podcasting in
The hollering.
It's hilarious.
Hollering! Quiet, heed! Keep
it down. So yeah, the ovulation. So we get this like not animated, but
it's like they made a bunch of jizz puppets and like egg.
Well,
that's
not yet. Now it's
yet.
just the egg. It's just the egg. So we're seeing that she's like
it's like those
she's
Time
fertile.
Life books that I was telling you about. She's ovulating.
She's about to drop that egg.
She's about to drop an egg.
And Albert's in there, so she's an accountant. She's Albert's accountant, and she's in his office. And
She's
he's over there
trying
getting
to
handsy.
work, and he's all frisky, and she's trying to end it because he's married, and he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm leaving
you.
Beth. Like she's, but she's sick.
She has bulimia.
I'm sorry, she's bulimic, but this is like." She can't resist. It's like, I'm gonna burst if you don't kiss me.
Oh
soon.
God!
Like, what is Albert? What has Albert got?
Money.
Well, but that doesn't even seem to like.
It.
She really seems to like think he's
a great dad
to his real family.
Real family, yes. So then when he's like, "I'm gonna burst if you don't kiss me soon," now we get the fertilization sequence.
Jizz. It's so gross. It's like this is one of the only movies that I could think of where like jizz is a main character.
The sperm is. It's all woo,
right.
Woo,
round, get around, I get around.
Bruce Willis voice. Follow me, boys.
Yeah,
I got the map.
We were just speaking about water parks.
Gross. Gross. You know there's jizz in there.
Oh God. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And why when the sperm penetrates the egg is it making moaning
I know.
sounds?
Oh yeah.
I didn't ever need to hear Bruce Willis's O sounds. That's not.
No, and don't the tails fall off when they get in there? I feel
Not
like
in this.
No, not in this. It wiggles its way right through.
It sure does.
And then it splits into cells and makes.
So yes, the magic of conception.
Right. It lights up just like that. I've seen it on Discovery.
And then cut to Mollie puking her guts out at work.
Right.
In the stall. And her friend, I didn't even write down Rona, you said?
Rona. Yes.
Her friend Rona's out there like.
Are you okay?
She's like, yeah, I got that stomach flu that's been going around.
Like, no one's sick. It's not going around.
There ain't no stomach flu. And she's talking about, Albert, he's going to leave his, that his shrink told him.
Right. You can't leave her while she's sick.
She's not going to get better till you leave your mistress. And he's like, so she's leaving her. And she's like, oh, his wife? No, his shrink.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, he can't leave his wife while she's bulimic. Well, guess what?
I
She's
know,
going to
it's
be
a very
bulimic.
Serious disease.
It's going to take some time.
Like you could tell, like, what's her name? Twink Caplan must have been a friend of hers. And you could tell that's like a good Judy because I don't know if it's a good Judy. Like she should have told her, like, you're being ridiculous.
Right?
You're being ridiculous.
He's
like,
clearly
what are you
not
doing?
leaving his wife. What
No,
are you
he's
doing?
not going
What
to
are you
leave his wife.
thinking?
You're stupid. Stop
Let's
it.
take you to the clinic.
Right. That's what I was like.
Well,
so like
she's
this little
30,
baby that they're
mid-30s.
making, that whatever, like this adorable little zygote puppet. I bet
Yes.
pro-lifers love this shit. And I was like, is it still abortable?
Right? You're like, the fingers aren't formed yet.
I know, it's
just
only
barely
got
getting little nubs.
It's like the thing that they give you outside of the high schools or whatever, where they're like, this is the baby. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, this is ridiculous. I used to collect those. I used to hang outside of the...
That never happened to me. Nobody ever handed me a...
I used to collect those pro-lifer pamphlets that had all that gory imagery in there, and I made a collage.
Oh, God.
And then, like, I also collected those little chick tracks.
Oh, yes. I
those
think we've talked... That
religious
came up
ones.
before once.
I
can't
think
remember
so,
why.
but I had two collections. Once were...
What are the chick tracks?
The religious little
ones,
comic pamphlet.
Yeah.
They were like
No
just
idea.
little... They're
sure
from back in the day. I think they were doing chick tracks even before we were.
Oh, before
I
we
thought
were
you
a
were
thing, but
gonna say they handed you like little pretend aborted fetuses.
oh
I
no,
was
they
like,
wouldn't.
You
it wasn't.
made, like,
they just
jewelry out of
pictures of it.
Pictures of it, yeah.
But they also have like that little thing where they like show you, oh, this is what it looks like at like 6 weeks, but it's got like legs and arms.
Right.
And like, oh, it's got like it's fully formed. It could do mathematics and drive a car. Are you sure you want to abort
Well,
this baby?
Weird
this
puppet
fetus
from
was
the
already
Interpol
talking
video.
to itself in
I
the
know.
womb. It was
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
hands,
I bet
look at that.
you they love this shit.
Yeah.
And so she's out here spying with her
Did
friend
she really
on
do
Albert
this?
with his See, these are the parts where I wonder.
Did she really do this? I
how
put a
much
little-
of this is taken from real life?
watching him and
Because
his real family
out there with
and his children.
binoculars.
Look at what a good dad he is over there.
And she's like, yeah, to his fucking real kids. Does not care about you.
Does he know she's pregnant?
Not
Not
yet.
yet. She doesn't even know yet.
Yeah,
at
she's
this
not
point.
aware yet. So now she
They
goes
watched
to her,
the movie, not me.
she's going to her parents' house for dinner.
Right there, she's a generational accountant,
Yes, both of her parents are accountants.
and she's like, "What would you have done if Dad was married when you met him?" She's
Wouldn't
like,
fall in love with him.
Well, you can't control that. Sure, you
Sure
can.
you can. Your father can't have cheesecake anymore.
Right?
'cause
What's
of
his
his
favorite
cholesterol?
food? Cheesecake, and now he can't have cheesecake anymore, so he just doesn't eat the cheesecake.
Same thing.
Same thing. If he was married, I wouldn't have gotten with him.
And then mom realizes something's up because she's eaten all her dinner.
Right?
that
You
mom
never
cooked.
liked
She's
my
like,
cooking before. Why are you eating
she's
so
like, I
much?
still don't, but I'm hungry.
I know. Like something's wrong. Something's going on. So she takes one of those chemistry sets.
That pregnancy test, I have never.
No, I live in the future.
Yeah, I've never. It wasn't a pee on a stick. This was 1989. I'm pretty sure they had the pee on the stick kind, but she was doing some lab work.
She
in
bought
her
it at the
bathroom.
99-cent store.
Did those exist? I don't know.
I don't know. Not.
Would
not
you
in New
rely
York.
on that?
I don't know.
Supposedly those ones are better. Like those
Oh,
are
really?
closer to the ones they actually give you at the hospital because
Interesting.
it's like a chemistry set. It's
And they
like
probably
what
have
for-
them in bulk and they're
right.
getting
Yeah,
cheaper,
and they're like,
yeah.
well, whatever. We have a ton of these things.
And Scully's father confirms the pregnancy.
Yes,
And she's like, congratulations,
alien.
and she's
I know.
like,
She's
oh,
like, he's like,
fuck.
oh, I take this isn't a planned pregnancy. She's like, it wasn't even a planned affair.
Whoop.
Whoopsie doodles.
So now she's imagining
33.
Albert's finally leaving his wife
And
when
he's
she's
talking
80.
about her biological clock is ticking.
Oh yeah, so she's having this nightmare about she's on this big clock tower hanging on to the
Right, and like if she would, I knew this day would come, and she's like an old lady now.
Yes, and
Like
her
Albert would be
falling.
dead
Yes, he's clearly like at least 15 to 20 years older than you. There's
if
no
she's
way.
supposed to be 33, and he's got small children.
Yeah, he seems.
They
older.
say later 9 and 11.
I don't know. Maybe he's got yet another previous
Was
family
there
he
a
doesn't
big
talk
age
about.
difference between Ramis and Heckerling?
I don't know. That I
I
didn't check.
should, that's my
I know.
job.
That's why are you asking us?
Like we know what we're talking
Look it
about.
up, Jim.
So Mollie tells Albert what's going on and that she
Right.
doesn't want anything from him, but she's not going to get an abortion. And he's like, "Oh, of course
Oh
not."
no, this is exciting. Here she's having my baby.
Shut the fuck up.
What a wonderful way.
And she's just going to tell everybody she was artificially inseminated.
Okay.
I'm like, just
Like, just
fucking
out
put
of
him on
nowhere.
blast, bro.
Right? Name and shame.
Fucking tell
Especially
everybody.
later on.
Your own parents. But I guess that's embarrassing. Like,
Well,
you're
I
pregnant
would
by a
I would
married
want
man.
to. I barely wanted to tell my parents that I was pregnant by my husband
Why?
because then they know what I was up to.
Oh, because then they have to think about the fact that you're having sex with your
It's
husband.
like when I see ugly people at work and they got kids, I'm
And
like,
they're like,
ew,
ew.
somebody fucked you at least twice.
Oh no. So she tells mom, and mom's like, "Oh, you got pregnant by a frozen pop,
Yeah, like, ooh.
like a pudding pop."
Like, no, not the pudding pop. She went up into a sleep. she
Only
bought him a-
ugly girls and lesbians have to resort to that.
Right, and you're not ugly, nor a lesbian.
So now a montage of doctor visits,
Right.
gifts from Albert, getting on the scale's climbing, trying
She's
to build
gaining
baby
and
furniture,
gaining, and she gets in like these more and more horrendous maternity
oh yes,
outfits. Like the hair wraps get bigger as her belly gets bigger. The bows get bigger.
trying to cover it up. So now the fetus is demanding apple juice. She chugs like a whole fucking gallon of apple juice.
Yes,
And her friend is over there reading from the baby book.
I know about the vulva or the penis.
Yes, the feet, and then that's when he notices his
Like, what's
third
that?
arm.
A little arm down there. How am I
How do
going to get that in my mouth?
Wow, Mikey.
Well, he doesn't know. He's just a
True. He
zygote.
doesn't know. So Mollie goes to see Albert, but he's in there with his decorator. She has to wait.
You can't go in there. Excuse me. And like this decorator comes out. They're clearly already on the frisk.
So he brings her and shows her his expensive new desk. His
I'm gonna do this in all
$20,000 desk.
Navajo.
Oh God. And he tells her she should watch her weight. Beth only gained 21 pounds. Bitch, we've established Beth is bulimic.
Right? She was jogging up until like the birth.
Probably because she was trying to get rid of him.
Right? It's because she's bulimic. And also, shut the fuck up.
Don't you talk to a pregnant woman about her weight? What is wrong with
also
you?
that
she was 31 when she had her kid
Amy.
by Harold Ramis, who was 10 years older than her.
All right,
so yeah.
about the same.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's upset that she quit Lamaze, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's
And
just
then he
heavy
compares
breathing."
it to like Beth again. Well, Beth did all
Yeah,
this.
he keeps comparing. It's like, if you love your wife so much, why are you fucking me?
she's like, wow, that's amazing. You should marry her.
Right? And he's like, hey, guess what?
I got an apartment.
Here's the receipt for my new apartment.
But
And
don't
she's
come
like,
over yet.
Yeah, she's like, oh, well, let me come by tonight. No. We got to take it slow. Take it slow. You already knocked her fucking up.
I know.
It's already past this.
It's way beyond. She's showing.
Yeah. So now Mollie and Rhonda are out shopping when they come across Alfred and the decorator.
This is
out
where
in the
they're
fucking-
like, they're changing. They're out there shopping. They're doing all this thing in the changing room. And this is where Rona's like, oh, I want a baby. Should I have one with Neil?
And Neil's the name of Amy's
the
real husband.
Ex-husband. She's like, well, do you love him? No. And then she's like, oh, it sounds like, or she was like, oh, you should try some Nobel Prize winning sperm.
And she's like, oh, they do that?
She's like, really? Nobel Prize winners are like ejaculating into cups?
I guess so.
She's like, well, don't you want a smart baby? She's like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. A baby telling me how stupid I am.
Yeah. Oh, and we forgot to talk about with that character, because we talked about it right before we turned on Mike, that Rugrats took some inspiration
Right.
from this, and we were it came up because we were talking about how that actress
looks
looks
like
like
Dee Dee
Tommy's
Pickles.
mom. Yeah, Dee Dee Pickles. But they used the talking babies.
Right. The talking babies and like the milk getting sprayed in the face and all that other stuff. It was supposedly like the inspiration for.
So yeah, I wonder
Rugrats.
if that particular character was inspired at all
right?
by
Twink Caplan.
by Twink. What a name.
Twink.
So yeah, now he's she catches him in the dressing room with the decorator.
And he's like, oh, whoops.
Oh, Mollie. He chases her out of the store.
I'm
sorry.
going through a selfish
I fell in
phase.
love. And I'm going to live
Beth
with my
knows.
decorator. Beth knows. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously.
See, now this is when I think I would have called Beth.
Right?
Like
you know, I'm pregnant with his child.
Right. Like, I know that you may or may not know about this interior decorator, but I'm having a baby. He's like, oh, I didn't want to tell you so close.
Yeah, to when you're due. So
The
she like
stress
wallops
isn't
him with
good.
her bag and walks off and immediately goes into labor.
I know. And then her good Judy, her ride or die, comes out and like jumps on his ass. Like,
Right, but then that means she's by herself now, flagging down a cab in the
Right.
middle of going into labor, and she flags down John Travolta.
Right. He happens to show up and picks her up, and she's like, I need to go to St. Jerome's Hospital. Ah!
Yeah, he realizes
Like,
what's
oh,
happening and
shit.
fucking takes off.
Right. And like he's driving through traffic and like going all crazy. and
Barreling
she's
through
like,
construction barriers.
what are you doing? Like, don't be so stupid. Like, this could take hours. He's like, yeah, so can the traffic.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you doing your
Lamaze?
Lamaze?
And she's like, oh, fucking. And he's like, oh, come on, it's better than drugs.
Right.
She's
So
like,
the only
only-
people that say that are men, and men are
Idiots
stupid.
like men, yes. And he mentions the dad. Where's your husband, your boyfriend? And she's like,
Right.
oh, there isn't a dad.
You must know, I was artificially inseminated.
What are you, a lesbian?
What are you, a lesbo?
He goes into the hospital with her. He pulls up, screeches up, and they're like, you can't fucking leave your
Right,
cab
you
here.
can't-
But he's
whatever.
like, oh, she's in labor.
Right. He takes her in, they check her in, and they wrap him up in the whole drama. They get him dressed
Right, like
up in
he's the
scrubs.
dad.
And like she wants drugs.
And the nurse is like, calm down and focus on your breathing.
Fuck my breathing.
She turns into like
And he's like,
Satan.
okay, we're gonna get you an exorcist and some drugs.
And he runs
like,
out and gets the smoking
you a
man
doctor and
out
it's
of the hall.
Smoking man.
And he's like, oh yeah, I've never seen her before. She's 5 centimeters dilated. Here, have some Demerol.
Right, I'll give you a little Demerol.
I don't
Take
care.
the edge off. That's fine. I keep it on. I keep that thing on me.
And she's like,
Thank you. Like she's like, give me like extra.
I need
like
I think
extra.
I'm in more pain
I need
than
it
most
to
moms.
last and last and last.
And inside, little Mikey's tripping,
He's like,
seeing trails
"Ooh."
off his little hands. Like,
That's
"Whoa,
nice.
I like this.
What's that light down there?
Let's go. And then as soon as he pops out, help, put me back
like
in.
put me back inside.
And he's freezing, and not until they hand him to mom all wrapped up, then he likes this.
That's nice. And she's like, you're the one that's been kicking me.
You're the one that's been eating all that spicy food.
And like they all asked James, you want to cut the cord?
He's like, no, you got
his
this
face. No, I'm good.
I'm the cab driver. I
He
don't know if
doesn't
I
ever
mentioned
say
this. No,
that.
he doesn't. He tries to tell the first guy, but I'm not the dad. But he's already
He's
walked
already
away.
like in there, and he just gets all wrapped up.
And
so.
little Mikey's like, that's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
Right, so far, right?
So now he's laying in the nursery at the hospital, and and so here's
Who
our first.
took my thumbs?
Yes, all these babies with their inner voices crying about the one who's been reincarnated, but he hates. Oh, I forgot. I
just
hate
remembered
childhood.
I hate childhood. Who took my sucky thing?
And she's out there looking at the window while all the other dads come. And so I feel like this makes Harold Ramis even seem more like a dick. The fact that she did not do the part, like, I don't know what's
Right.
worse, that he showed up to the hospital in real life with his 7-year-old child.
I can't imagine.
Or if he did not show up or even respond at all. I feel like that's a worse move.
What, that he showed up with his kid, or
No,
that he
that
didn't?
he didn't, like, to say he didn't even come when I was in the hospital when I had his baby. He didn't even show
Well,
up.
then to admit to her later on as an adult, like, oh, so what? You took me as like a human shield, and it was like, well, kinda.
Well, because to get out of his house from his wife,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
and
He
have
had to
an
take one of the
excuse,
kids.
you have to take one
That's
of the kids.
why I
Well, and I think
believe
he
he's.
was also like weirdly because they were super close. Him and his daughter, they're
Yeah,
closer
yeah.
than the other kids. I think it was his way of like introducing
Kind
a
of
bond
telling her,
between
like,
her
yeah.
and her sister.
mean,
I want you to meet your sister, but I'm
Maybe.
not going to tell you
and they
that's your
eventually
sister.
did become
Well,
closer.
they did, and that's
Well, and
when
he
they were
didn't even
adults
know
after
for
he
sure,
died.
right? That at that moment when the baby was born, they
No.
weren't sure it was his.
No,
Pretty sure, but
but pretty
Timeline wise,
sure.
it fit, but she did
Yeah.
also have a husband, so
Exactly.
it wasn't for sure.
Also that, but I feel like she told him before she had the baby. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
like-
I think he
Yeah.
knew when she was pregnant that it was very possible that was
I mean,
his baby.
the fact that he took his daughter,
And then
like,
apparently, once she
unbeknownst-
started growing up, you were like, "Oh, that's definitely his kid."
yeah.
She
right?
looks just like him.
Unbeknownst to like the daughter, to take the daughter as like this
Yeah.
whole buffer in this weird situation, not explain anything to her,
Yeah.
and then expect her not to say anything. That makes me feel like he's closer to Albert than maybe I would like
Right.
to believe.
Unfortunately.
Well, and when they watched the movie, Harold
Could you
Ramis said
imagine-
to her, "That guy, that's an asshole."
Right, like, that's
me.
Yeah. So
But
he
that's
knew.
me.
Yeah, and he knew he was a dick too.
I can't imagine being this kid and being like, oh yeah, you know that movie, Look Who's Talking. That's about like how I became.
when I feel like
to
that
be.
line, I'm going through a selfish phase.
I feel like that he
that's
would have said
direct
that.
from Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
because he was just coming off this open marriage, whatever. He'd been doing
going
this fucking
through a
around.
selfish phase.
And now he was like, fuck, I'm going to probably be the dad of this bastard kid and I
And the
can't
way-
deal with this right
yeah.
now. And so I got it. Well, and the way you said that the new wife put the kibosh on
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
open
Well, yeah.
relationship
They like
shit.
moved out of this. They moved
Yeah.
to like the East
she had to
Coast.
move him
and-
away.
Yeah, because he was gaining all this fame and all this popularity
Right.
and loved getting into restaurants, fancy restaurants,
Oh,
and people
okay.
recognizing
And
him.
living in famous panties.
So he was, he was definitely, he was feeling his oats.
Yeah.
I guess.
And, and supposedly the way the story
well,
goes,
then don't
Amy
act
was
excited
really,
that she's pregnant.
Amy was really in love with him, and
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
kind of not so much. He was like, "Oh,
I gotta be
thought we were just,
free."
I thought it was just another one of those things." And she thought they were gonna leave their spouses for each other. And so,
Right, and
but
that's-
telling the movie that way is such a more
right.
complicated story that you
guess.
can't make it such a lighthearted comedy if
guess.
the woman is also at fault.
Well, I
Like, there
can't
has to be
imagine,
only
like, how
one.
are you making such a lighthearted comedy out of your
Right? Your
life
own
like this?
situation. Yeah. That's why I wonder how much it strays from the real thing. Like, just to make it not so serious. Like, how much did she
to
have
make
to
it not
change
so
to give it a
serious, but
lighthearted
to
edge?
put so much of yourself,
Yeah.
to put your actual child, who this movie is about,
And
in
then
the
what's
movie.
her kid think about this?
That's
is
what
I
I'm
wonder,
saying,
too.
like,
Because,
I don't-
you don't hear from Mollie, the kid herself.
Right.
Like, I have not heard
I've
her
not seen
statements about
anything.
how she feels about this.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, she obviously didn't seem to have an issue with the older sister
Telling her
including
story.
it in the.
Yeah, no, they've become friends and close.
Yeah, that's
Right,
what they
they
said
seem
is
like
now
they
there
were
But
close.
there were
so-
some awkward years.
I would
Yeah.
imagine. I would
Obviously, yeah.
imagine. I imagine it would be awkward for anybody to meet their parents' love child.
Yeah. When this scene where Mollie's talking to the baby about, I'm going to find you a daddy, it's like, yeah, it was just your husband. You just took that baby home and let your husband believe that was his baby until you got a divorce.
Yeah, and then the husband called Harold Ramis.
Yes.
And like, oh, you dick.
Mm-hmm.
At a certain point, you're holding your kid, looking at the kid's face.
Like,
going,
why does this kid
Why
look
is
like
Egon looking at me? For real?
Why is this baby
You're sitting there
Egon?
watching Ghostbusters with your 3-year-old.
I know, and you're like, hold on a second.
Put some little glasses on her. You're like,
Fuck.
This is a redheaded Harold Ramis right here.
They should have casted her for that. Oh, well, she'd been too old at that point. I was going to say for
redheaded
the
Harold Ramis.
Ghostbusters reboot or whatever. Like,
Oh,
cast
yeah.
his actual daughter.
She was born in 85.
Yeah.
So 4 years, but she was 4. She's in this movie, if we didn't say that already.
Yeah.
Mollie is in this movie. So now the taxi pulls up outside her apartment. So she's been discharged from the hospital.
Yes.
It's 4 days later or something, somewhere in there.
She's realized that she's gotten these engorged tits.
Yeah, she goes to look in the mirror and is
Like,
like,
she
what
didn't
the
notice.
fuck?
I know
like, you
them
would
things
you
hurt.
feel it.
Yep.
You feel it.
Must
you don't
feed
need to look
baby
in
now.
the mirror. She's
I don't care.
Like a Russ Meyer movie. James comes to the door. Whoa, you got your figure back.
Well, you got
And she's
Dolly
like,
Parton's figure.
yeah,
back.
she's like, it ain't my figure. Oh, Dolly Parton's figure. And she's like talking about, oh, I can't pay you. My purse got stolen at the hospital. And then, wait a minute, how do you know where I live?
It's like, oh, you left your purse in my cab.
And I could tell you ain't been in there in a while.
Yeah.
Fucking diaphragm was in there.
I know.
Clearly ain't using that. We were talking about that before we recorded too, because in Parenthood,
Right, the diaphragm.
the diaphragm, we in our generation, I don't know about you, Kim, I have never used a diaphragm.
I don't think I've ever seen one outside.
We
of
said
That's
the
what I'm
same
like,
thing.
I don't think I've
besides
seen
a
one
movie.
they
outside
didn't
a
even
movie.
show it in sex
No.
ed class. They showed condoms, but I
They
don't
Yeah.
mentioned a diaphragm, but
mentioned
they
it,
didn't spend a whole lot of time
and
on
it
a
sounded
diaphragm.
really complicated to
Yeah,
me.
it doesn't
It's-
sound hot.
It sounds like it's really going to take you out of the mood.
It also sounds like both of you would feel that in there.
Right?
It's like when they talk about like
big
period
old rubber
discs
shield
or
inside.
cups, they're like, you could still have sex with these in, and I'm like, where's the room?
Yeah,
yeah.
I had
So,
tried at some point. It wasn't like the little cup things, but it was
Yeah.
something very similar to a diaphragm, like in the early days
when they were
of
doing the diva cut, whatever.
Yeah, and it's not.
Yeah, it seems like that's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
I'm
try
not-
when you finally wrangle that thing out, it just like
Well, because of the suction.
right,
Yeah.
and like no, it's like one of those balls that flip inside out.
Oh, those ones.
Oh, the
yeah.
popper one?
popper bowl.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
always wondered with the diaphragm, and because I don't think I had anybody in my life
I've
either to
never
talk
known
to about
anybody.
it,
Yeah.
or who would be willing to talk to about it that used one, how that works.
Just
Right.
a barrier, I guess.
Do you just have to,
catches
like-
it?
But,
And then
Like,
what?
how
It's
do
full
you
of
make sure
sperm?
that
How do you
stays
get it
in
I
out?
place?
know.
And then the getting, I don't
It seems
wanna-
like you would flip it inside
Just
out
put
trying
on
to
a
get it
condom,
out.
dude.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. It's like one of those little bouncy ball things.
Yeah,
like,
just
it
like
just makes a little.
If you take it out wrong, it shoots all the sperm at extra speed up into your fucking
you have
uterus.
to do
You're
it in like
oh
the.
no.
Oh no! Yeah, you did it backwards, and now
Oh,
it's
fuck!
like
It flung it all like a high velocity.
this will make sure you get it.
right. I know. It's like if you put a foot wrong, it
Well,
like
and
it.
also weren't you supposed to use it in conjunction with a spermicide?
I don't know.
I believe
around
you
the
had to
barrier,
use a
so in case any got
spermicidal
passed.
jelly.
Maybe.
Which always, that sounded disgusting.
I
to me.
know.
Spermicidal jelly.
Can I get some spermicidal
And also,
jelly,
like,
please?
are those pre-lubricated? Like, how?
I don't
No,
know.
probably
I
the
think you-
spermicidal
You can tell
jelly
none
is
of
what
us
you
got proper sex
lubricated.
No, we
education in
didn't.
school.
We
They
went
were
to
just like,
public
here's the
school.
diaphragm.
By
That's
the
all we're
time
going to
I
tell
was
you.
having sex, it was just condoms and birth control pills.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
really
then
talk
nobody
about
talked
any
about-
other. We
they
were
were
talking
like,
about
that was in-
Depo-Provera shots and
that was in the
IUDs.
other category.
Yeah.
The other category. That's like what your mom used. Like
Yeah, we
Along
didn't-
with those period pads that came with the
with the hook.
the
the
belt.
hooks. Yeah.
What was
Right.
the meme I sent you about the wingless pads? That was
Oh,
so
right.
funny.
It's
It was
down
like, why
the
do
street
why do
buying
wingless pads
scratchers.
exist? You know, as soon as you put it on, or as soon as you walk away from the bathroom, that thing's down the street at the liquor
Buying
store
scratcher
buying scratch
cards.
offs. Like there was. And then the sub thing was something about my favorite form of
Evocative imagery.
yes, evocative imagery. Imagining your maxi pad
Because
walking
I
to
did.
the store for
I
scratch
did.
offs.
I did. It was sitting there without its wing. It couldn't even scratch it off.
No, what do you? Yeah, what's it gonna scratch? It
I
off
didn't
with?
have
You
any
use
fucking
the
wings.
sticky part. Yeah, it pulls it off, pulls it away with this.
Oh no.
So
got off track.
she finds out he has her purse, and then he goes to light up a smoke, and she's like, and this is the only time you see him ever try to smoke. He doesn't
Nope.
smoke in this movie.
Not
I
throughout
don't
the
know
rest
why he
of the
tried to
whole
light a
movie. I
cigarette
guess
in her kitchen.
just to make the
Hey,
oh.
had to be John Travolta.
And then he asks if she thinks the drugs affected Mikey because he looks all stoned, and she's like,
She's
"What
like,
the
how
fuck?
do you know?
What drugs? You don't know about that." Oh, because she's still. It never comes up that he tells her he was in the delivery room.
Nope.
She's never aware of it. So he brought a sub, and she's like, "No, I don't want a sub. Just watch the baby
Right.
while I go get
I'm
dressed."
gonna go change.
But nothing fits.
No, because she's
Them
got
titty
these
too big.
Them titty too
That
big.
Tim titty
Too titty too big.
titty too big. And she comes out, and there's a little sweet moment where James is like teaching Mikey about coffee.
Right.
And she's like kind of watching, and then
Coffee regular.
he's like, "Oh, they forgot my cream."
You know that's breast milk.
Yeah, he'd squirt some from the bottle.
And he spits it all over the baby.
all over the baby is hot coffee. On that note, I'm gonna take my breast milk. I'm gonna get out of here. Get out of here. So before, I think now is actually already a good time.
We're gonna take our
a
breast
quick
milk
break.
and get
A
outta
breast
here.
milk break.
Take a breast
No,
milk
we're not
break.
gonna take a breast milk break. That's gross.
We're gonna go milk each other.
If it's got nipples, you can milk it. We'll be right back, Greg. And we're back.
And we gotta cry, baby. Oh,
So yeah,
he's
Mikey
figured
learns
out.
that if he cries,
She
mommy
brings a
comes
bottle.
with the bottle.
Ooh.
Or comes to change the diaper.
Right? There's so much crying. This kid does nothing but cry.
And she's like so tired. She fills his bottle with coffee in the middle of the night. She's
Right.
like, what the fuck is happening?
And how do like all of these babies look like Bruce Willis?
they made sure.
It's like little baby Bruce Willis.
They made sure. The little bit older Mikey doesn't, but the babies do.
No, the little bit older Mikey looks like, what did you
Becky
say?
Connor.
Becky Connor.
Yes.
Original Becky Connor.
Original
not,
Becky Connor.
Not new Becky Connor. Not second Becky.
So cut to her trying to hail a cab out there with her arms full of baby stuff.
She's
and no
got
one will
all
stop
kinds
for
of
her.
shit. Yeah, no one wants to pick her up.
And now she's reading in a book about postpartum depression.
Not gonna be me.
Cut
But
to
then
her
she wants
crying
her
at
to-
all the commercials.
What is it? A long distance or a credit card commercial? It's got to be one of the two.
One of the two. And now she thinks something's wrong with Mikey because he won't stop crying. He must have some exotic baby disease.
Right.
And she's like, it can't get any worse. Cue grandma
Yep.
arrives.
She comes over and she's like, "Do you know who I am?"
and like she's just meeting
No,
this kid at like 3
not
months
really.
old.
Yeah.
Where was her mom? Because they live close enough that she popped over
All
for dinner.
because it was a frozen pop.
Maybe was she like mad about it?
I don't know,
at
but it
first?
seems
'Cause
like
it doesn't
like,
address it.
I'm your grandma.
Yeah, he's never seen this woman in his life.
right. He's like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And when she's like, "Goo, goo, 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 goo," he's like,
Oh,
"Man,
we're
she
gonna
gone."
have a bubba. Oh, would you bubba?
Oh, she gone, man.
Oh,
she gone.
she gone. Oh, yeah.
So Mollie goes out with Rona and is asking about like, who would you look for a dad for your kid?
Someone with a small mouth and good hair.
Yes. And then so cut to her on consecutive
these
dates with
dates.
assholes.
With this fucking guy that's like berating
The
the
waiter
server
or whatever, yeah.
And then she has this flash forward of like, what would life be like with this fucking guy?
scolding her child.
Right, like yelling at him. So now she goes,
She goes out with basically Niles Crane.
right?
Like everything
is filthy,
and-
dirty.
Yes.
She goes out with Joan Crawford.
Right?
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt.
So yeah, imagining him as a dad.
We're gonna organize this dresser properly.
So she comes home and catches James at her mailbox, but he's like, "Oh yeah, somebody called for a cab."
Right. I'm
why I'm
just
here.
waiting here. Like, oh, it's good to see you. You know, whatever. And she was like, I don't know who this Vincent Ubriaco is. I don't
She
keep
keeps
getting my mail.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, just leave it up there because sometimes, you know, they mess up and they'll pick it up or whatever. And so she takes off.
And why she hid around the corner to watch what he was doing is a mystery to me.
I know.
What does she care? The mail was not addressed to her.
I know. And like, then he takes the mail.
And she's like, "Oh, I gotcha.
Busted.
Stealing my mail." And he's like, "It's not your fucking mail."
I know. And she's like, yeah, but you don't get to take it. It's a federal offense.
He's like, "My grandpa is Vincent, okay?"
Right. Like, I used your mailing address to get him into a home because I live in he lives in New Jersey.
Yeah, and she
Lives
lives
in Jersey.
wherever they need to be to have residency.
Is that where he lived in Saturday Night Fever?
I don't remember. I feel like it was Jersey or New York. It
I
had
know
be
that they
one of
went
the
to
two.
party in New York, but I feel like he lived
Maybe
in
it was
New Jersey.
Jersey. That it might be.
because they do the whole. Oh,
with the baby coming up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to get involved. She's like, it's illegal. And he's like, look, I'll babysit for you.
Right.
I'll babysit for you.
And she's like, okay.
So Friday nights and 2 aerobics classes.
So only 3 times?
No
or-
chicks.
Right,
No,
no
I think this is like, she never
like
gives a
every
time frame.
Friday
It's like
night?
every Friday night for question mark.
Right. And then the aerobics classes are on Saturdays. So like 2 of those.
2 of those.
And then every Friday.
And he's not allowed to have chicks over.
No chicks.
And so then they go back up to the apartment. She's trying to get Mikey to take a nap, and he's like, "Why are you trying to force feed him?
I know.
Like, what are you
Like
doing? He's not
he doesn't want to
tired.
sleep. He
He's
doesn't
wide
want to.
awake."
And she's like, well, Dr. Spock says.
He's like, "What do you care about what a Vulcan says?"
He loves us. Dr. Spock loves us. Xenu loves us.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the Scientology. Did you look it up? When did they both
I
join
got
Scientology?
sidetracked. Oh, and Saturday Night Fever was in Brooklyn, so it was.
Oh, okay.
Well, it took place. Is that where he lived though? Because
with
he
his
lived in
family
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Everybody's Italian mother.
So yeah, she falls asleep at the table. So he carries her just effortlessly.
I know,
can't
just picks her right
not
up.
Not as an adult has anyone picked me
Nope.
up and carried me.
Not
to
a
bed.
once. That would have been it for me.
That's all right. You be the daddy.
Right, you're daddy now.
Why not? And tucks
Why
her in
not?
and
It's a
takes
better
Mikey
choice.
for a ride in the front seat
Okay,
of the cab.
so he puts in at least he puts the kid in a car seat, but he puts the kid in a front-facing front seat of a New York City cab.
Well, he's got to teach him to drive.
There are no
He's 4 months old.
cell phones. He has just laid this woman down and he takes
Didn't
off.
even note nothing.
Not even a note.
Not even a note. So yeah, it goes to the airport where he teaches a class because he's getting
a
his pilot's
flying
license, or he's
instructor.
yeah.
Did you know he's a pilot? No, he has a pilot's
He really
license.
is. Yes, he is. John Travolta has
So
a
does
plane.
oh fuck,
Harrison
Gary Newman.
Ford. Oh, Gary Newman is also a pop star.
Here in my plane.
And he's in your cabinet as well. Open the cabinet. Gary Newman is in there. So Mollie wakes up in a panic,
Of
calls
course.
the police, and James takes Mikey. Meanwhile, he takes him to visit Grandpa Abe Vigoda.
Right. Who's like, let me grab those eyebrows.
Yeah, because he's like, I don't remember you having a baby. He's like,
He's
it's
like,
not
"It's
my
not
baby.
mine."
And the baby's like, look at those furry things.
I know. Let me get out those.
So James brings him home, and she immediately punches him in the face once he
Because,
puts the baby down. Like, what the fuck? She's
What?
like beating him with the broom. Like, what are you fucking doing? He's like,
I
you know he
know.
was with me. And she's like, I don't know
I don't
you.
know
I
who
only
you-
know your first name.
I know, but I'm gonna let you babysit every Friday night and 2
True.
aerobics classes.
But in her house.
that's what she said. She
The
was like,
baby
babysitting
stays
means
here.
baby stays here and you stay here.
So she gets a splinter from beating him with the broom, and he pulls it out with a needle. And
I've
her
never
mom
had one that big
yes,
in
her
me
mom
before.
comes up and hears her screaming about, it hurts. I never had one that big in me. And she's like, what the fuck?
Right? He jumps out of the apartment, and, like zips up.
And
his
why was your fly down? What is happening?
I think
You've been
he
out
was
with this
just
baby.
doing that, like making a
He
joke
thought it was
for
funny.
this woman that he doesn't know is her mother.
And she's like, is he the frozen pop?
No,
No.
he's the cab driver.
So now a baby milestone growing montage.
Right.
And I wrote right here, the older one looks like Becky Connor.
Yes.
And now Mollie's at her parents, and her mom's telling her Mikey needs a father, but she's like,
Right.
"But I don't like anybody."
Right.
So she wants to fix her up. She knows an
Oh
accountant.
yes, this guy that's at with your daddy's firm, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh God, Mom, no."
And when James shows up to babysit, he's all dressed up, looking handsome.
I know, and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I got a date."
And she's like, "But I'm going on a date," and he's like, "Yeah, with
I
an
know
accountant."
with that guy, you'll
You'll be
back
home by
like
9:30.
9:30 tops.
And this dude's in here trying to flip the channel to football while Mikey's watching the Snuggle
He
Bear.
wants
He's
to
like,
watch the Snuggles Bear.
It's time for the bear, sir.
Right, I want to watch the bear show. You dick.
Yes. And so yeah,
So, like James. Oh yeah, he's also doing the thing, and then like he sits
James
down
meets the date.
and tells him like, "Oh wow, like she's super liberated."
Yeah, she's a tough cookie.
Yeah, you don't want don't open doors for
She
her.
hates
She wants
that.
it. Yeah, she hates it when you pick up a tab. All of this shit, and then John Travolta has the nerve.
To
John
get Mikey
Travolta
to rip the toupee off this man's
has
head.
the fucking nerve.
Well, I feel like this is pre-toupee for John
I don't know.
Travolta,
Did you
but I'm
see
not
that
sure.
hairpiece? I'm not sure about that at all. I feel like it's not been his hair
Well,
since
and
Vinnie
that's
Barbarino.
I feel like that's a Joan Crawford moment where you're not going to find that information about
Nope.
when did that toupee happen.
Nope.
As far as you
Nope.
know, it happened in the last 5 years, and you are not getting any further than that.
I'm glad that he's gone bald. I just wish he would go gay.
Right? Come on, man.
I wish he would come out already. What is it about him
Be your
and Tom
fabulous
Cruise?
self, both
Him
of you.
too.
Scientology.
Yeah.
Well,
Well-
and that's what they have on them in their little auditing
But
sessions.
if you come out, they don't have it on you, dude.
Right?
I know, like
Just
who
Then what are
gives
they
a
gonna
shit?
Nobody
do?
has shit
Like
on
no
you.
one's
Nobody
gonna
gives a
care.
fuck.
Y'all are in your 60s.
Like you know how excited I would be if Lil Tom Cruise came out.
Right? If he left Scientology
Like jumping off
and,
a
like,
fucking
jumped off an
airplane.
airplane and was like, I love dicks.
Right.
I'd be like, yes, Tom
Yes.
Cruise.
So Kirstie Alley joined Scientology in '79.
Oh, wow.
wow!
After the Narcanon program because she was addicted to coke.
Oh, okay.
So she got in through the treatment program. Travolta joined in '75 when he was only 21.
Wow.
So his whole fucking life.
His whole
He's
life.
been- he's
So he
been in
doesn't
there
know what
deep.
to do without the Church of Scientology.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
He doesn't also seem too bright, does he?
I kind of know.
I mean, like-
I mean, I haven't watched a lot of interviews with him. I only know him from the characters he plays. I
Yeah,
don't really
maybe
know much
that's-
about who is John Travolta as a
He
person.
seems like a nice enough sort.
I mean, minus the creepy shit with the masseuses where
oh,
he
I
was
haven't heard
groping
about
them.
that.
Well, if
not
he
aware
would
of
just
this.
come out, I feel like that would be less of a
I
problem.
was trying to Google when he join Scientology, but it said when did John Tramples?
John
that's not what I would
Tramples.
say.
It's your new name. It's your new
Jim
name.
Tramples.
Jim Tramples.
So yeah, he rips off the toupee. He has the baby to pull the toupee off, and she's like, "Oh, you look better
Actually-
without the toupee. Just leave it off."
I mean, he doesn't look good either way.
no. So now, of course, all
2000.
night. Oh,
he
what?
started wearing wigs around 2000.
That's
Okay.
what they say.
Since his hair loss became more advanced,
That's
likely
what
around
they
2000. The
telling
decision
me-
isn't difficult to understand since he could afford top quality hair systems.
Well, I mean, hair systems. That
You could
makes
see
me
that
laugh
I
so
know.
much. I know.
What do they call it? A unit? When
A
they
unit?
install the units?
I like the word of quiff. I like the word quiff.
Oh.
I like to watch those things where they put the saran wrap down and make like that
Oh,
bullseye.
yes, yeah.
And then like they make this like
Perfect fitting.
handcrafted,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's like here's some teenager hair that they always put on these dudes. Like
And they look so
I know, they're like-
terrible
They take
with
like a
that fake
50-year-old
hair.
man and give him this super cool.
Right? They give him like a
sporty
broccoli
look.
cut.
Yes.
They should do those 90s cute boy bowl cuts. On
yeah,
like Boy
Right.
Meets World bowl cut.
yes, that's what they need.
That's what John Travolta did.
Well, that is what John
Those long
Travolta did.
pieces.
Yes, it's a Chris Gaines wig. They all just used the Garth Brooks borrowed it from him.
So now I see why the date doesn't open doors or pay, but why he felt the need to talk about his
upper GI, I know.
intestinal fucking issues.
He's like, well, I was super constipated, and I would sit down and I would never shit. Like that's not what he's saying.
have you ever
but
had a
that's
barium enema?
right.
Like,
No.
she's all, I don't think
He
so.
was like, but at
or
least
not lately.
At least I got to see my colon on TV.
And meanwhile,
Worst
James
video game ever.
Right.
James is at home doing plush animal dance party.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa!
And this kid seems like he loves John Travolta.
I know.
He's having
they're
a
having
fucking
like
blast.
both of them look like they're having like the best
his
fucking
little
time.
teeny Nikes. Little
I wrote
stamping
that
those little
very same thing.
Nikes
Like,
on the
oh my
counter.
god, those tiny Nikes are
love-
fucking adorable.
I love a tiny baby Nike
I love
or
a
a tiny
tiny
baby
I love everything in
tennis shoe.
miniature.
Yeah,
Everything is 10 times cuter when it's miniature.
absolutely.
So cute.
And
But
now-
yeah, this kid is gonna fucking puke.
Oh yeah, he's spinning him around.
He's got shaken baby syndrome.
He is, and the kid loves the shaking. He's
loves
like
being
the kid
shaken.
from Parenthood. He's like,
I know. He's like, shake me.
Flinging his head around.
Shake me, shake me.
The brain's already swollen.
I know. It's all like, it's mush.
and now why Mollie even went to go to a movie with this man after that atrocious meal?
She has paid for the cab. She has paid for the meal. She has paid for the movie.
And so and then she opens the door for him.
Yes,
Why not?
that
Yeah.
too.
So James and Mikey fall asleep on the couch after dancing, and
Well,
her
they-
date tells her what
They
James
get there.
told him.
Well, they get there and she pays for the cab. He's like, oh, come on, let's make out a little bit.
and she's like, "No,
No.
Like, come on, it's early. Yeah, but I'm broke."
Yeah. He's like, come on, just a little.
And so she comes in pissed because he tells her, "Oh, well, your babysitter tipped me off to like how you are," and she's like, "Oh,
What
really?"
are you talking about? Like, oh, did he now? So they go in there and she's like, or she goes in there and it's all adorable.
Yeah, because she sees them all on the couch asleep, and she's
And he
like,
doesn't
well,
even
shit.
get up for his date.
Yeah, she tries to tell him, "Hey,
You can get up
you're
for
gonna
your
be
date
late,"
now.
and
And
he
nope, he's
he's
sleeping
too
there.
cozy.
It's so cute.
So now Mikey, this is the and it's Mikey out in his stroller on the stroll.
And who is this? Is that even Kirstie Alley back there?
I don't know. It doesn't ever show. It's like the nanny from fucking Muppet Babies is pushing him in the stroller.
I liked the skirt they were wearing.
Yeah,
whoever
you
that
never
was.
see who it is.
But they're all chit-chatting. All the babies are like...
Oh, my hair. That neurotic baby.
I know. I don't know if I like it. I look like a boy.
Oh,
I had these,
my hair.
I had these little curls.
It looks
Remember my
great.
curls?
No, it's beautiful.
Right.
And then they go to the sandbox, and this one little girl gets picked up by a man, and
It's
he's
like,
who's that?
Oh,
it's
that's
their
the daddy. She's going with her daddy. You know, the daddy hangs out with the mommies, the daddy.
He's like, oh, I'm going to ask James to be my daddy.
Oh, yeah. I get one of those. And James to be my daddy.
So now at home, Kirstie, Mollie is
Town
dancing
without pity can do.
getting all sexy in the kitchen.
I know. She's like going to do a striptease for a
For
child.
her child. Close your eyes.
Yeah, don't look at mommy.
Don't look at me jiggle my titties.
I know. And like James comes in and sees this whole cute.
And he bursts in.
Yeah. Can do.
Twirls her around. Mikey's clapping.
I
He's
know,
like,
he loves
"Yes." So he invites her to, I just thought you might want to go help me get my grandpa set up in his new nursing home. She's
I
like,
know. She's like, will
"Great."
you just ask me if you need me to sign some papers? Just ask me
All
to
right, will
sign
you
them.
come
Like, will
sign
you
some
come sign the
papers?
papers?
Yes. So on the way, he's talking about stopping for lunch and that he knows 20 ways in the city to get free lunch and long distance phone calls.
I think you might be a scam artist.
Right? And he starts telling her about like, I wouldn't have to drive a cab if I could get more classes going.
Right, but I only make so much doing the classes, so I do the cabs to help pay for extra stuff.
So they get to Grandpa's new place, and he gives this orderly this bag of candy where he's like, look, you can only give him like one
a
of
day.
these per day.
No
or he's gonna
problem.
freak out, no problem. And so you find out later
It's a problem.
it's a problem. So James wants to take Mollie flying.
Well, first they pick up this confused man to move him from one place.
Oh, yeah. He has no idea what's happening. He's like, are we stopping for dinner or
Yeah,
whatever?
like-
He's like, no, this is your new home.
Yeah, we're taking you to your new home. They set him up with the.
And now,
this
meanwhile, we said
food.
Abe Vigoda was what, 60 something during this? So like he
He
should not
looks
have been.
108.
I feel like he was born that way.
And
I feel
Abe
like he was
Vigoda
born
so
that way.
too.
Only died like
It was only a few years
Like
ago.
2 years
wasn't it?
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at like 96.
He's been alive this whole time.
and like
This whole time.
The whole
the whole
time.
time. And Grandpa can't even feed himself, so Mikey's over there like,
Right, let me
you
help.
out,
He's
old
like,
man.
he's worse at this than I am.
So now he wants to take her flying.
Right. And she's like,
She's like,
No.
how you can't afford that? And he's like,
well,
oh,
I'll just
yeah,
put it as an expense or whatever. I'll say that you're a client or whatever.
baby, if we were poor, we could still live like kings.
And what are they going to do with this baby while they go flying?
I don't know. Grandma washed him,
I
maybe?
guess.
So they go up in his little plane, and she's all nervous.
Put your hand on my stick.
She's like, come on.
I'm
He's
not going
like,
to put
no,
my hand
really,
on your
it's not
stick.
sexual. Just put your hand on my stick.
Oh, baby, that feels so
yes.
good.
And she likes it. She likes the
I
feeling
know,
of
it's like a great
controlling
day.
the plane. Yes.
Fantastic day.
So that night, they put Mikey to bed, and they get a little frisky.
I can't imagine it took this long. To be honest.
Daddy's home.
Wow, wow. Daddy's home to stay.
But midway into foreplay, she starts imagining their life together.
Oh, God. Living in a tiny apartment with 5 kids, 4
A
kids, a fifth on the.
smoke-filled fucking, like she's been chain smoking in this
Right.
apartment all day.
He's been dumpster diving all day, comes home with a head of lettuce. Just because it's free doesn't mean it's not good.
Yes, and the
Didn't I
kids,
tell you we'd live like kings?
Oh, he turns into fucking
I
Andrew
know.
Dice Clay.
That was weird.
And then he's like burping, and the kids love it. Like,
Oh,
more, and this
everybody-
is where the real Mollie, the little redheaded girl on the table, is the
Right.
kid, Amy Heckerling and Harold Ramis's kid.
I can't imagine.
And so mid whatever roll, she knocks him off. She's like, I gotta
Right,
think
she's
about
like,
Mikey.
I can't be doing this. I can't just be falling for any guy that comes along and like, you know.
So she throws him out. Cut to Mollie's boss asking her, so what happened with Chubby Charles? Which you saw that sign in his office.
I know, but
his
what
name
is
is not
Chubby
Charles, and what the
Charles?
fuck is Chubby Charles? What is his business?
I don't know. What is your business?
is your
None of your
business, sir?
business. What is your business? What is your daddy?
State your-
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
And she's like, look, I
He's
can't
a sex
do it anymore.
machine, apparently.
It's personal. And he's like, look, it's tax season. You've been his accountant forever.
Right.
You
Like you
can't
have
just,
to
like,
get back
leave
in
him.
there. Can't abandon him.
So she goes in to see him, and Albert begs for a second chance.
Oh,
and
can
she
I see a
imagines, or no,
picture
this is her
of
sitting in the waiting room.
Mickey. Oh,
When
that's
she,
right.
When she's imagining him saying, "If I don't get a kiss from you, I'll burst."
Tough.
And his head explodes
like scanners.
or like Big Trouble in Little China.
Or Drop Dead Fred.
Yes.
Who that guy reminds me, like we were talking about earlier. What's his name? Charles. Reminds me of Albert.
Oh, yeah.
Albert and Charles are cut from the same cloth.
So she was asleep in the waiting room. So
Yes.
they wake her up. She goes in and he asks about Mikey.
Mikey.
That's not even his fucking name.
I know. Is he crawling? I remember when Astrid crawled.
Shut
I
the
don't
fuck
want to
up.
hear about your other real family.
I love you. I think about you every day. I'm just too ashamed
So
to
you've
call.
never called. Yeah, I'm just too. Every time I go to pick up the phone, I'm going to call you like
And
every day.
It's been
but
a year. He's a year old.
Yes.
And he's never seen him.
I thought he was 2.
Yeah, because he was already. Yeah, he seemed more like a 2-year-old. So she
Right.
shows him a picture, and he's like, "Oh, he's got my eyes." And
I
she's like,
know.
"Yeah."
How can somebody I love so much look like somebody
Somebody
I
I
hate?
So he wants to see him, and she agrees. Which why?
I know. And then
then
she doesn't mention
She doesn't
this.
mention to James. So James
Thank
is
you.
babysitting.
Thank you. And Albert just drops by, and rightfully, James is like, "Well, who the fuck
Who the
are
fuck
you?
I don't know who you are. He's
Oh,
like,
you're
I'm his
his
father.
dad."
No,
she was artificially inseminated.
no, she wasn't. So they start fighting. They're fucking
Well, yeah, because
pushing
he's
each other
like,
around.
"I'm his father. I'm just gonna come right into this kid's life now."
Why do you
and
think
be
I have
fucking-"
a key? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Maybe you broke in. I didn't see the key.
Right?
So James tosses him out, and she comes home, and he's
Like,
like, "Who's
casual.
Albert?"
Oh, why did he come by?
Yeah, is he fucking Mikey's father?
Yes. Can you like let us know that this kind of thing might happen today?
And she admits it, and then he's like, "I don't want you seeing him again."
I don't want him seeing Mikey,
Mikey
anymore.
again.
And she was like, "What are you talking
And that's
about?"
when he says, "Where has he been all year?" So that's how you know he's a year.
And he was like, he couldn't even be bothered. Like, I'm more of a father to him than he is.
And she's talking about how irresponsible he is. He's like, "Oh, like you're responsible?"
Right? Getting together with a married man.
So he tries to throw her out
Yeah,
of her
get
own
out.
house.
And she's like, I live here. I know it.
Fine. So now Mollie is asking her mom, is it her mom, if people can change?
Yes, like, like older people can change. And she's like, sure.
And she's asking about like her dad and stuff. And why'd you fall in love with daddy? And she's like, oh, he looked nice in a uniform.
And that's it. Like, you didn't think about what kind of father he'd
Nope.
be? Nope. I wasn't thinking about any of that shit.
Because you usually don't.
No, like, why would you think of something
You don't
like
think that far ahead when you fall in love. So James comes to see Mikey and tell him, look, I can't keep coming around. Like, I got to
Right. He like
separate
apologizes and kind of goes in to say goodbye to this kid. And she hears this, but doesn't intervene and like lets it go.
Right. And she hears him telling Mikey being a good father is keeping the mom happy.
So she doesn't drive the kids crazy.
And telling him that you're my best friend. You're only a year old and you're like my best friend.
Right, I guess I am a big kid because
Aw. And
you're
then
my
Mikey
best
gives
friend.
him his little panda plushie.
I know.
So cute. So now Mollie picks an outfit to go meet Albert.
Because they're gonna go. She's got to take this kid. He's like, no, not the
lamb
lamb.
outfit.
I look like
Fabian.
yes, a Fabian.
Speaking of Bruce Willis,
I know.
that's where Fabian was
yeah,
at Pulp
that's
Fiction.
right.
So there's a connection.
That's right, and John Travolta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that actually brought his career back.
Yes, it did.
Because this movie almost didn't happen because he was box office poison.
Box office poison.
Because the last movie he had been in was
it was a string of
the
flops.
the sequel, the Sylvester Stallone sequel to Saturday Night
I
Fever.
love that
What?
movie. I love that
With music
movie.
by his brother.
Yes,
Oh,
Frank
wow.
Stallone.
Wow.
But yeah, so there were a bunch of movies after Urban Cowboy. Then Staying Alive happened, and then some
And
random
also
music
Perfect,
videos.
that one
Oh,
with,
Perfect,
uh,
that's right.
Jamie Lee.
Oh, I don't remember that
Oh,
one.
the aerobics.
That aerobics one, yeah.
That's weird. Why would they not?
Yeah,
was really
'cause you
trying to
see
hold
the
on to that
gifs of
sex
that or the
symbol.
short
yes,
videos
that's
of
what I'm
that
saying.
scene all
Yes.
the time, but I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen that whole movie.
I've never seen it all.
And then he was in like a
Together.
Jermaine Jackson video, an
Yes.
Olivia Newton-John video.
Yes,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Something else, a Stevie Wonder video, Chick Corea video. You're like, what are you doing,
Jeez.
dude?
Get dancing,
Yeah.
dancing.
And they were like, yeah, no, your box office poison. We don't want you
Yeah.
in this movie.
How weird.
And then it kind of restarted his career, but then it sputtered again.
Right.
He did the sequel.
Right.
And it wasn't until
And then he
Pulp
did that
Fiction.
Scientology
Yeah.
movie that Or that L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, the Battlefield Earth. I actually saw
never
that in
saw
theaters.
That. How was it?
It's terrible.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
It
so
was
bad.
fucking terrible. The guy that I was
And that
with at
wasn't
the
until
time
2000. So
wanted to go see it, and I was like, it's like,
like,
but
do
he
you
wanted to go
really,
see
though?
it because it was John Travolta's Scientology movie. It's not like he was getting into
Right.
Scientology.
He knew like what was happening.
He was just
here.
like,
he
we
just
gotta
wanted to
go
see how
see
bad it was.
Right. Well,
Right.
that, and it was during the time like I could go to the movies for free, so we went in like the middle of the
Just
day.
see
We're like
whatever.
the only people.
You and some old people.
We were no, I think it was just us.
Oh, nice.
It was like the middle of the day. It was just me and him watching this terrible fucking movie with John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker as almost, what are those things from Star Trek? With
Oh,
the
Klingons?
heads? Yes.
Oh,
Almost
okay.
that. They were like Klingons and Predators had babies because they also had dreadlocks.
Nice. So she takes Mikey to Albert's office.
Right. She takes him there and like,
He's playing with all his little expensive sculptures and whatever.
well,
and
she
he's-
just lets him walk around in this like not baby proofed.
No.
Since he's such a good dad.
And Albert's over there. I still want you and need you, but I can't be a father right now. I've raised my children.
And she's like, they're 11 and 9.
Yeah, they're
What
off
if they
to college.
they grow up and get jobs? Did they leave home? Like, what are you fucking talking about?
So Mike's got a dirty diaper, and she changes him on the desk. He's like, "Oh no, take him to
He
the
goes,
bathroom."
what is he crapping? She's like, no, he's thinking really
Really hard.
hard. And so she puts him up on this $10,000 stone desk
And smears
from the
his shitty
Yucatan.
diaper all
He's
over.
like,
Now it's worthless.
Yeah, now it's junk.
So he says he's going through a selfish phase, or
This
she says you're going through a
motherfucker.
selfish phase, and
I'm going through a destructive phase,
and
and
she
like
smashes his shit
Mikey's
up.
like, yeah, let's bust this shit up. This fucking clown.
So now they're at home, and Mikey's blow drying mom's hair.
Right. She's like, I'm so sorry. You're
I'll
never
never
ever
make
going to have
you
to
see
see
him
him
again.
again.
So the phone rings. That Grandpa has become abusive and violent. So not her dad.
Well,
but
Grandpa-
James's grandpa has
right,
become abusive and
because
violent to staff in the home.
She's on the emergency
Yeah, you
list,
gotta
I
come
would
get
imagine.
him.
So she's like, oh, just hold on. I'm coming down, whatever, to fix this situation.
And he sees her and he's like, "Oh, my favorite daughter-in-law."
Right. He's like, that's why Jimmy loves you so much. You're like the nicest of all of my daughter-in-law.
And she discovers all these candy wrappers and is like, "You know what? Can I see the director? Like,
Right.
my husband made arrangements with your orderly for one candy bar
Right.
a day. He gets crazy if he has all this
She
sugar."
leaves Mikey there.
Yeah, she
in
leaves
the room
Mikey
with
in
another
the room
orderly.
with an orderly and the grandpa. Like,
Right.
can you watch him?
And he's like, yeah, sure.
And when she's like, "Well, the guy told him it was no problem."
He was like, that's all he can
That's all
say.
he
He
says.
doesn't speak English. She's like, well,
Well, good. Then can he stay? Because this was all a
right.
misunderstanding.
He
All
was
right,
like,
he can
oh,
stay.
of course. Because James has now shown up and waits outside
He
the
hears
door.
her having this conversation.
Right, because
yeah.
she keeps saying, my husband, my husband, my husband.
So now Mikey's still in the room with the orderly, but the orderly goes to leave.
Right, it's lunchtime. So the
Yeah, he
orderly,
just
like, you
leaves
guys
this
okay here?
senile old
well,
man alone.
this is not a memory care
True.
facility.
But then Grandpa sees Esther across the hall, so he's got to go
He
show her
chases
Mikey.
some
He's
tail.
like, "Esther, you meet my grandson.
Come meet my grandson.
And when James and Mollie get back up there,
Well, Mikey sees the cab go by, and he's like,
oh,
"Oh,
he thinks
there's
it's James. Yes.
I'll go find the yellow box." That's
So he
down
goes
there."
out to the elevator and gets on the fruit cup trolley.
right, and escapes.
And again, this is a 1-year-old. Like,
I don't know.
damn.
It's Rugrats, girl.
Yep.
Do, 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 do,
That should have been the song.
Yeah, and that's Mark Mothersbaugh, isn't it?
Yeah. So he gets down to where all the old ladies are eating, and they're like, "Oh, that's so and so's grandson."
Right, go find your grandma, whatever.
And
And,
then
they're
he sees-
searching.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
so
looking
there's
everywhere.
no cameras
Not
in this old
1989.
folks' home. No alarms on the doors. I mean, I know I said it wasn't like a memory care thing, but you would think they don't want to let these old folks
You would think. I don't know.
wander out into the street. So,
But
I
he
mean,
gets
they let
outside.
them go swimming in a pool back in '89.
well,
so.
that was different. They were trying to impregnate the old ladies.
Oh God. So he gets outside. Mikey gets outside, and he gets into this car that's on a tow truck.
Right, because James had taught him to drive. He was like, "Well, that's cool.
I'll just drive. I'll just follow James.
I'll just follow James." So the tow truck takes off with Mikey in the back car.
And they say he's in the back, but then when they show him, he's in the driver's seat.
I
pretending to
know. I
drive,
don't know how
so-
they saw him. I mean, I know
I don't
they
know.
left his little sippy cup or whatever.
Yeah, he left like a toy on the ground or something.
So they run out. James gets the cab. They follow
and he
this tow truck.
He follows the tow truck. He ends up cutting him off.
Well, we're
after
back.
this
We're now
chase.
we have full circled because this is how they met.
Right. And he blocks the tow truck and gets out. And this kid has already gotten out of this fucking, the moment it stopped, this kid opened the door and was gone.
It was standing
down the
in
street
traffic?
in the traffic.
Oh my God.
Or did he get out when this fucking car was still moving?
I have
What
no
happened?
idea. I have no idea.
So he's like coming towards them. They're running for him. Cars are crashing all around this fucking 1-year-old standing in the middle of the street.
I know. Like, this kid is flinching.
Right? Like, how close are these actually cars driving past this small child? So they get him, hugs. They take him over. She's thanking him for his help. And Mikey's like, Dada.
Oh, his first words.
Oh, I think he thinks you're his daddy.
Oh,
You
man.
know, that makes sense. He sees you all
I
the
see
time.
him all the time. And
they kiss. And Mikey's like, I hope they don't get stuck together like that.
oh, man. But they just leave him sitting on top of
a fucking newsstand. Like, just unattended 1-year-old while we make
Don't
out.
even have a hand on him.
No, not a hand on the thigh after you just pulled him out of traffic.
Right? Seriously.
So we're not going to give Mollie a Mother of the Year award.
No.
Let's just say that. She means well, but she's not good at this.
We cut to Jizz again.
More sperm journeys.
Sperm. They went right home and James came in her immediately. And it's a good thing she was ovulating because then...
Yeah, they bring Mikey in to meet his new sister, Julie.
It's Julie, who is Joan Rivers.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, the day I've had. Can we talk?
Can we talk?
And then Joan Rivers became Roseanne in the sequel.
Yes, if you recall the sequel.
If you recall.
Little Julie was played by Roseanne Barr.
Mm-hmm.
And that little girl was in something else, I feel like. The one who played
Little Julie?
Little Julie. Or maybe I'm just thinking of Look Who's Talking 2. Because I feel like I saw Look Who's Talking 2 quite a few times as well. But we both decided we never saw Look Who's Talking
not
Now.
the one with the dogs.
I didn't even know that was
I
a
didn't
thing.
realize there was one with the dogs. The dogs are, you said, Danny DeVito and
the
dogs.
Danny DeVito dog.
As a dog?
Diane Keaton dog.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, I never saw that one. But I
No.
do remember Roseanne being the baby girl. And
Elias
also...
Codius was in it.
Oh!
In the sequel.
That makes
in
sense.
2, I feel like that sounds familiar.
And also the potty.
Gilbert Godfrey.
I remember the potty because he's being potty trained and like the potty like
It talks or something.
Yes.
He's scared of the potty.
Yes,
Yes,
he's scared of it.
yes.
Oh, that
So-
does sound. Yeah.
And I wanted to watch that one right after I watched this one, but again, these
it's
are
not available anywhere. When they
nowhere.
were like last week.
Not 1, not 2, not 3. You can't find a random
Well, I don't
YouTube
care
channel that
if I could
uploaded a
find
shitty
3.
quality. Nothing.
That's what I was looking for. I was like, it's got to be just on fucking YouTube, right?
it was
no,
nowhere.
no.
When you were talking about the baby almost getting hit by traffic, did you guys see Baby's Day Out?
no.
It was like early 90s. There was
pieces
like a gorilla.
of it,
I
but
feel
not.
like
Wait a
but I
minute.
remember it
Joey
like
Pants was in
walked
it?
out on scaffolding and
What
like
is it about a baby in
Hilarious.
overalls that they put in traffic? Also, fucking Pet Cemetery,
Right?
He had little overalls and maybe little Nikes too.
I feel like maybe it's from like old Warner Brothers cartoons.
Maybe
babies
little
in traffic.
But
babies
yeah,
in
that
traffic
movie
in
was pretty fun
overalls.
from what I remember.
Babies
What was I looking
Day
up
Out.
about a baby and Look Who's Talking To?
Julie, who
Oh,
was the baby who
who was
played
the baby
Julie and Look
Julie?
Who's
Just
Talking
random
to.
babies.
Oh, it didn't say.
Oh,
Yeah,
None of them
Megan
have a
Milner,
photo.
Georgia Keithley, Nikki Graham, and
Nobody
they didn't
that
play
we
in
would know.
anything
Okay.
else.
I don't know why I thought she was in something else.
maybe you're thinking of something else.
Who knows?
Who can say?
But yeah, how did Look Who's Talking doom us? I don't know.
Talking
if it did, but
babies.
Talking babies.
Jizz being one of the main characters.
Thinking, yeah, all of that. Talking babies and
Thinking
animals
you can
are
just
funny.
walk into traffic and take off in a
fine.
tow truck and fuck a married man without consequences.
But yeah, if you want to look into Amy Heckerling's
Right. If you want to look into
drama,
that story,
that's
that was
available on the internet.
that was something else. That watching it this way, watching it
Yeah,
now
it adds
was
a
like a
whole
whole
nother
nother
level.
level. It was a totally different movie.
Yeah.
Now knowing what I know and knowing that that's the truth. That's not even like it's
Right.
not even like it's a rumor. It's the
Well, and
fucking
then
truth.
messed up for Harold Ramis to tell his daughter.
That's
in
what
that
I'm
way.
saying.
So
Not knowing
FYI, your
she
dad's a
already knew.
scumbag. Which I
Right.
mean, at least he was honest with her, but still.
And she doesn't think
She
that he's
doesn't
like
think
a,
he
a
was. He's
scumbag
like-
though.
Based
Yeah.
on the book, she doesn't. Like, she sees he had faults, and he was always kind of honest with her about them, but boundaries. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't need to be
Not-
that
not
close
a lot
with
of
your
boundaries
children.
there.
No,
with-
I
yeah.
mean, like, there's no reason to burden them with that. Well, I mean, I guess it's not like she was burdened with it as a child. She read the diary. It's not like anybody told
Yeah.
her. And he didn't tell her to keep it a secret when she was 7.
Right, true.
I mean, he didn't
So-
tell her what it was, so she didn't. Think
Also,
she needed to
didn't
keep
tell
it a
her what it
secret.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think later she claims she overheard the stepmom.
Yeah,
talk
rather
about
yeah,
than
really, she read it
admitting
in the
to
journal.
reading it in the
Yeah.
journal or diary or whatever.
Yeah, and if you're a parent and you keep any kind of journal or pornography or sex toys in your bedroom drawers and they are not locked, your children have seen them.
they will go through your stuff.
I'm telling you this from my own personal experience of every time my parents left me home alone.
That's the first thing I did.
The first thing you did
and
was
I
go look in those
always
drawers.
regretted it.
Yes, 1,000%.
I always regretted it.
You don't really want to see what your
No,
dad's
you
presents
don't want to
are.
do what that is.
There was one that was funny because I was a little bit older. I was probably 12 or 13, and I stayed home sick from school one day. And even though I wasn't sick, and I knew my
course.
mom knew I wasn't sick, she was
course.
just letting me have like a fucking ditch day.
A mental health day.
And so I decided to be nice, and I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna do some dusting. And I legitimately was like not trying to spy. I was just I'm a dust.
Sure, Jan.
I for real did. And I went in their room and I didn't even open anything. I was just dusting the headboard of the bed. But on the little shelf of the headboard was a pack of Fiesta brand condoms.
Fiesta brand.
They were colored. They were multicolor condoms.
Come with a little packet of
That's
confetti.
the
I didn't
Fiesta
say
No, the
anything, right?
confetti's on the inside,
Right.
so when you take it off, whoo!
I left them where they were. I didn't say anything. My parents came home from work. I didn't say anything. We went through dinner. I didn't say anything. We watched Married with Children, whatever. I didn't say anything. They go to bed. Good night. And I said, good night. Enjoy your fiesta. And they both were just like, what the hell? And my stepdad's face turned like so red. My mom was like, what were you doing in our room? And I'm like, I was dusting. I was trying to be nice. You don't need to leave your condoms right out on the fucking headboard. You didn't even try to hide
now
it.
I'm picturing those as like those New Year's, like those little popper
Right?
things where you like pull the string and it goes.
But for
Every
years,
time you open the condom, a little confetti comes out.
for years, I would bring that up. I would just be like at random points, like every 6 months or so, be like, enjoy
Oh
your
my God.
fiesta. They're like, shut up.
I'm gonna say that to your mom. Next
I
time.
wonder
She's
if
not
she
gonna
remember.
I was gonna say she's not gonna
I
remember.
don't remember. Did I tell you I told her that we talk shit? I talk shit about you on the
shit
Carrie
about it.
episode. And she's like, she just kind of gave me a look. I said, well, could not talk shit. I go, but we told about how you once again did not recall the
Gaslit
film
you.
I guaranteed that you knew about. And that you, not only that you rolled your eyes at me and
Right.
went, ugh, that's not my kind of Stephen King. And I
Again,
was like,
did you
what
ask her
does that
what other
mean?
kinds there are? Because I feel like
No, I
there
don't.
are no
I
other
never
kinds.
got a specific answer from her why Carrie was not her zhuzh.
Even with The Greatest American Hero.
Right?
Oh, which is also on Tubi, by the way.
Oh, that's now on Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, but did we not find that somewhere to watch?
I don't know, but
I
it's
feel like I
definitely
didn't
on
have to
Tubi
pay
now. I
for
was
that
going
one.
through. I was going through something. And I was looking for something to watch, and I found that. I was like, "Oh, look!
Yeah.
Tell your mom.
So anyway, you guys should send us messages.
You should. It'll be fun."
702-720-DOOM. And I want you to remember, and there's one particular
Hey.
person I'm talking to.
Talking to you.
I want you to remember that if you text or call 720-720-DOOM, those messages are for us to play on the show.
This is a business.
That
line.
is not your personal lifeline to me.
personal hotline.
Not your personal
Your
hotline to
own
reach me with weird
personal
things to say.
Hotline.
And from now on, the messages that come to 702-720-DOOM will be read aloud on the show.
Oh no!
So just be aware.
Knock it off.
Be aware.
But yes, we welcome impressions, raves, reviews, rants, whatever you want to send to that, as long as it applies to the podcast, are welcome.
Be polite to Nicole, you assholes.
I
Or I'm
alone,
gonna
Be
get in
polite.
there.
I
Period.
alone respond to all social media queries. Me, Nicole. So no, you're not going to find Tessa or Kim or Liana replying to your messages.
Nope.
And guess what, though? I will tell them
Oh, we know all about it.
all about the messages you send.
We know all.
There are
about
no
it.
secrets in Doom
We
Generation.
know, not with the Doom crew. We sit around.
We
Talk
be
shit about
telling
you guys.
She
yeah.
acts this shit out.
Hand
we get out
gestures
like we
and
get out shadow puppets.
put on outfits.
We
pretend
do.
to be you.
We do a whole thing. We have a whole production.
And if you have a nickname, and I bet you know who you are, there's multiple of you.
Oh yes.
That means you're communicating a lot, which is fine. But you need to be okay with being known by a nickname because Tessa is not going to remember all your names, and neither is Kim. And so we got monikers for you, but
Yep.
you earn those yourself. You name yourself.
You name yourself.
If you have a nickname that
Which
we
is
gave
really
you,
the
you
worst kind
made
of
it for
nickname.
yourself. Like you earned it.
You asked to be called that.
You did. Anyway.
That got off
If you're not
track.
following us, follow us, like us,
Kim and
rate us,
Tessa don't
review
reply
us.
to any.
I know. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on.
Keep in mind, Tessa is inaccessible. I
I
am
am
the wall
inaccessible.
that separates the rest
Nicole
of the Doom
is the
generation.
firewall that you must
Kim is
penetrate.
non-existent.
Yeah,
Kim is not even here.
Kim is not. Yeah,
Kim's
she's
not here, man.
Jim's not here.
Jim's
man.
not here,
man.
Oh, we could talk about also. This is the final. Final.
Oh yeah, this
Mother
is the end
May
of
I.
Mother May I. So we've got Summer Lovin'
Happened so fast.
coming your way. A whole month of summer-centric or vacation-centric films
And John Travolta.
and more. John Travolta. If Carrie
you worry.
and this was not enough for you,
Don't you worry.
we got more coming.
Sandy.
And on that note,
We'll talk at you next time. Later, Doomers.
Sandy.